Anime that will interest from the very first minutes, colorful moments, and an interesting story. So immerse yourself in this fascinating world with me. Enjoy watching. Our protagonist's name is the devastated Gabimaru. From the first few minutes, he is immediately sentenced to execution by beheading, blade cracked. Set fire to dry trees, didn't even get burned. Interesting that the clothes were burned, but it's like the hair wasn't touched. The third way is already trying to tear the guy in two with the help of the bulls. The bulls are tired, and so we are told of his origin story. Once upon a time, was a boy named Gabimaru. Joanin came to their home, killed his parents, and took the child, raising a future assassin from him. He was the best at what he did, killed everyone left and right, married a Jonin's daughter, and went out for bread. The girl's still waiting for him. He also came to her, but they want to execute him for the murders he committed. Then she is offered a condition. Somewhere in a distant place there is an elixir of immortality. He must bring it to the shogun, but those who came back from there came dead, all covered in blossoms. If he brings the elixir, the charges will be dropped, and he will go back to his beloved, and everyone will be happy. If not, he'll be killed immediately. His teacher that took him had immortality, but never realized where he got it from. The guy thought once, thought twice, so he said yes. The girl who accompanied our hero is Sagiri Yamada. She was bullied as a child for being the daughter of a notorious executioner. But she saw her father's skill at decapitations and was so impressed that she wanted to master the katana as well. She beheaded so many people. Even though they were thugs and criminals, she felt sorry for them, terrified of what she had done, and the fear that she had committed murder never left her mind. All the criminals were gathered near the sea and presented before the shogun before being sent away. Whoever survives will go on a journey, and whoever dares to escape will be beheaded. A cool scene starts where we are already shown the main characters. The winners were the bandit Chobei, Dragon Blade Gantetsu Sai, Mad Keiyun, Nurugai, Horubo, the devastated Gabimaru, Akaginu, the Kunoichi Yujiruha, the renegade Makia, and the giant Rokurota. They will each be accompanied by a samurai. When they finally reach these strange lands, Gabimaru is attacked by a muscular man, but the main character can't be taken so easily, beats him with his hands tied. It turns out that immediately upon arrival, everyone started killing each other. The giant ate his samurai, Chubei killed the monk, the samurai Scion killed the girl, Yujiruha killed his samurai. Suddenly, Gantetsusai is stung by an insect, he cuts off his arm, and immediately everyone is greeted by different monsters. Yujiruha and two samurai came to the rescue. They want to unite for mutual benefit. Gabimaru agrees, but still doesn't believe them. While we are introduced to the bandit Chobei and his samurai, who turns out to be his younger brother. Gabimaru and the guys are gathered in a circle. It's not natural for monsters to exist after all. These monsters are the clue that will lead to the elixir, and they need to be used. A samurai of higher rank thinks Sagiri has no place here, and orders her to go back. Nurugai and her samurai take a boat back home. But on the way, they come across the remains of old boats that have been destroyed by monsters. Monsters pounce on them. They fight and barely get away. But the current takes them not home to an island. They decide to find the elixir. Gabimaru and Sagira have a heart-to-heart talk. That gave her the confidence that though she was a girl, she was as good as any samurai and could stand up to the monsters. The next day, Sagiri told the samurai that they would need her and she could face the monsters bravely. The giant Rokuroto has already crept up from behind and mortally wounds the samurai. Gabimaru decides to get rid of him, but he can't do it alone. Sagira wants to help and offers to behead him. Gabimaru throws burning stones at him and sets the whole place on fire. The giant, choking on smoke, falls to his knees. Sagira skillfully chops off his head, cutting between the vertebrae of his neck, and escape before they get burned by the fire themselves. Joining the others, they find a village. Rumor has it it's inhabited by hermits. They notice a little girl, May, and an animated tree. After immobilizing both of them, they don't understand who they are. The tree begs to be spared and invites them to the village. He says he will tell them everything he knows about the elixir. The girls take a bath. Then over a meal, the tree tells about the island and the fact that the elixir really exists. The island is divided into 3 regions, the outer one with trees Eishu, the middle one where the village Hojo is located, and the inner one, Haram, all covered with fog. The island is home to immortal and ageless beings called Tensen, and the chief god, Shinsenkyo. They protect the island and make all outsiders into flowers. The brothers had already met two of them and failed miserably. Nurugai and her samurai were walking along the beach and suddenly come across another Tensen. They run away from him into the forest. They are aided by a samurai named Sion, who happens to be his teacher. He temporarily immobilizes him, but it didn't help much. He is shot in the throat. Out of desperation, the yellow-haired man decides to sacrifice himself so the others can escape. Meanwhile, Gabimaru decides to check out the inner region himself at night. There were praying trees in the fog, and beyond that, a large gate. He was about to go in, and the third Tensen showed up, and it started. A big fight. Tensen used a reincarnation. The half-dead Gabimaru is saved at the last moment by Mei. The others decide to find Gabimaru. On the way, the tree says that the Tensen is one being divided into 7 separate beings, and that the praying trees in the fog are the grave of his people. Gabimaru meets Gantetsusai and a samurai. Realizing that it is foolish to fight, he proposes a friendly truce for the common good. All of a sudden, Mei has put on a lot of age. She says that the tendon, navel area, is the Tensen's weak spot. There's a special power called the Tao. You can use it to sense the terrain and defeat enemies much stronger than you. Meanwhile, the brothers and Gabimaru are visited by Tensen Doshi's henchmen. They've been sent to finish their dirty work. Chubei is infused with flowers from the corpses and internalizes the Tao, thanks to which he defeats the Doshi. In another battlefield, they meet 2 Doshi, and they say that Mei is one of the Tensen and they need her for training. Of course they don't like it. Gabimaru learns the Tao and they defeat both of them. Wood, Yujiruha, Sagiri, and Samurai come to the gate. Opposite them, they meet one Tensen. The tree's head was chopped off but not killed. He says they make the sap from the trees for themselves. It's important to them and it makes trees out of people. So there's no such thing as an elixir of immortality. The battle begins. Sagiri has learned the Tao and with the help of the boys defeat him. The samurai confesses that he loves Yujiruha, that she is special to him, but Tensen is not dead. He transforms into form, kills the samurai, and round 2 begins. Luckily, a blind swordsman comes to the rescue. In the final battle, everyone tensed up for the blind man's final attack. It's just not clear where his weak spot is now, and the weak point was a seed pouch like a plant. So they defeated one of the 7 Tensen, but unfortunately lost one. Toward the end of the day, they took refuge in the temple. Sagiri kept insisting that Master Gabimaru was immortal, that the potion must exist. Yujiruha says it could be an illusion. They use it a lot, and it's not certain that the girl waiting for Gabimaru is real. After all, no one has ever seen her. Gabimaru wakes up in a cave with the guys, losed his memory. It doesn't make sense now if the elixir was a lie. Then is the girl who waited for our hero real? Or is she just another illusion?